Is this thing on? Yes, it is. Alrighty then, everyone. Hello, dudes and dudettes. It's your favorite Reject Gamer Mix 17 here, and yes, I am back with another Subnautica. Now, I think my mic is close. I think that did it. I don't know. Anywho, so yeah, we are back now. Let me explain a little bit. I don't know, just to throw it out there, for anyone who actually did watch my original series, which was, of course, the playthrough of Subnautica, I mentioned in the last episode how I wanted to do a Let's Explore series to basically explore the biomes, the data that we collect, and give out a little bit more information about every single place. And that is exactly what I plan on doing. Now then, other than that, however, for anyone who's just, like, coming in, the Let's Explore series will be covering over each individual biome. And what is classified as a biome and what is not is a little weird. But I will specifically stick with what I believe is considered an actual biome. And then on top of that, I will be going over as much of the data as I possibly can, which is going to be all the data except for 3 data entries, due to the fact that I cannot collect 2 abandoned PDAs. For some reason, I have just been trying to find them for the past month, and I can't seem to find them still. I'm not 100% sure why that is, but luckily, there's always the good old internet. So, for those 3 specific PDAs, I will have to look it up. Other than that, location-wise, if I can't remember what it is you could find out off the top of my head, I will look at the internet, because there's a lot. There is so much to go over. Now then, without further ado, for one thing, let me eat something before I die. Alrighty then, and there we go. I'm staying in here due to the fact that, well, I have myself my own food source. Now then, moving on, we have well over 200 data entries, because that's only the number for the amount of things I have not read. So, let's do this. Starting off with advanced theories. Now, we got ourselves here alien eggs. Evidence suggests that a substantial number, if not all, of the local species reproduce through egg laying. Eggs can be found resting in the on the seafloor, buried beneath the detritus, or even wedged into the cracks in the rock. Wow, I'm already having a hard time. Hooray! Different species likely favor different biomes as their nesting grounds. Eggs discovered in the wild are in some form of natural stasis, while awaiting ideal conditions in which to hatch, or the delivery of some vital enzyme which will kickstart the process. I wonder if that's referencing the Sea Emperor. It is impossible to calculate the species of the egg from the exterior. However, it may be possible to stimulate a hatching response if an egg is relocated to a substantial alien containment unit. Of course, being the alien containment units that we have in the other building. Bacterial infection reports. This one I know for a fact you get after you reach not the primary containment facility, it is the disease research facility, which of course is broken down, and you self-scan after you collect the bacteria in you. Bacterial infection reports. You have been infected with a previously unknown waterborne bacterium. It is currently multiplying in your bloodstream. Estimated incubation time 2 weeks. Your immune system is currently combating the infection at low efficiency. You may already be experiencing flu-like symptoms and skin irritation. These will likely be excreted as the bacteria takes hold. Your immediate priority should be Ademinate? Ademinate? Wait. Abate? Abatement? And eradication of the infection. Let's see. Recommended steps: salvage further alien research data and possible vaccine. Investigate the mechanisms mechanisms which have enabled the indigenous ecosystem of inhabitants and the symptoms of the infection. That, I don't know why, I had a hard time trying to read. Oh, sorry. It's morning here, so. Anywho, moving along. Enzyme host peeper. I believe you get this from scanning a host peeper. Any enzyme host peeper. Alright. A peeper specimen was observed emitting a faint fluorescent enzyme trail and engaging in unusual behavior patterns. The peeper is actively approaching other creatures, including predators. The specimen is a host to a bacterial infection. However, the infection is currently dormant. Peeper's stomach's cavity contain an unknown enzyme of foreign origin. Chemical enzyme analyst of enzyme bears a superficial similarity to the stomach enzyme of larger predators. Contact with this enzyme appears to inhibit the symptoms of the bacterial infection. Complex structure renders synthesis impossible. Assessment: recommend further use of into enzyme origin. Okay, so now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure this is just the peeper that you find with the enzyme 42. Enzyme host peepers leaving containment facility. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this one threw me off the most trying to find it. Now, I believe this one can be found within the primary containment facility of the primary containment facility peeper room? I can't remember. It's a little weird, but I know it's one of the pipes within the aquarium room. Aquarium room? No, that thing's the where. Okay, so basically there's a room up the stairs. I'll even show it one in the next few episodes by the time I reach there. I'll explain that some other time. Anywho, moving along. Haha. Because I'm just making it up. I'm worn up myself. Alright. The outflow pipes, there you go, are filled with peepers traveling back towards the surface. Specimens show no symptoms of infection. All specimens scanned are carrying enzyme 42, which data suggest inhabits the bacterium. Specimens' stomach cavities are otherwise empty, suggesting that they may have been purged the contents before entering the pipes. That's something. Assessment. If peepers have evolved to distribute the enzyme via the pipe network, this may explain part of the mechanism by which life on 4546b has survived since the bacterial outbreak. Jesus Christ, I am messing up all over the place. Alright. Next up is, of course, the hatching enzymes. So, yeah. Which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you actually get the hatching enzymes when you, speak to the Sea Emperor. There we go. Man, Jesus, I am just still yawning. Anywho, but yes, I believe that's where you get this thing. And, yeah, let's, start reading. The Emperor specimen eggs are attached to some form of incubation. In a normal life cycle, it seems likely that the sea emperors would have buried their eggs in shallow waters where different organic materials in the soil would have triggered a hatching response. The incubator suggests the aliens had resorted to developing artificial hatching enzymes which would simulate the egg's natural hatching environment, but were unable to discover the formula. With an extensive information on the sea emperors themselves, it may still be possible to fabricate an artificial hatching enzyme with indigenous ingredients. However, the only surviving source of the information may be the sea emperor itself. Hatching enzymes old. Now, it's just static, apparently. Which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you actually collect this from the alien console, I think. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it is the alien console of which you collect this information. Alright then, so moving on. Papers entering the containment facility, which again, I think this is another pipe system within that one pipe system room within the primary containment facility. So, the pipes drawing water into the containment facility are filled with peepers arriving from the surface. The fish show no signs of distress. The specimens scanned have all consumed high quantities of seeds and organic life from the surface. Some specimens are beginning to show signs of infection, but of course the M42 fights back that infection. Peepers inside the containment facility. Now, I remember this one specifically of having a hard time trying to find, because I used the internet to try to find all this information. I'm like, where the heck do I find it? I just wanted to collect as much of the information as a kind of like, achievement, self-achievement. And apparently this is found by literally what the name is, by going to the primary containment facility aquarium where you can find the Sea Emperor, or Sea Empress, and you scan any of the peepers in there. It doesn't matter which one, it could be any of them. Anywho, moving on. While all other creatures encountered within the facility are isolated within it, I swear I keep yawning. Peepers appear to be coming and going from their own accord via the alien pipe network on arrival. Peepers are approaching the Sea Emperor. Peepers exhibit a natural affinity for the stomach enzymes being expelled from the Emperor. Peepers which have come into contact with the enzyme are returning to the pipe network. Analyze. This behavior must be a source of enzyme 42 on 4546b, or the area therefore which supports life. Wait, what? Thereof which supports life. There we go. It is likely also responsible for the survival. Oh man, Jesus, I need to stop yawning. This is just really frustrating. Survival of the Emperor and the other life forms contained within the facility. Rays of 4546b. Now, as the name suggests, of course we are scanning a ray. As for which one entirely, I am not 100% sure. I originally thought it was going to be scanning any of the rays, or scanning all the rays, but apparently you collect this within the disease research facility when you scan the display of rays. Let that sink in for a second. That's a bit of a morbid thing now that I think about it. That's more like a butterfly thing. And I'm not going to go over. Whew, sorry. Give me a moment while I yawn again. Moving on. Different specimens of ray indigenous to 456b each adapt to different environments. The specimens are 99.99% genetically identical to those encountered on the planet today, suggesting that rays are particular with undergoing little evolutionary mutation in the past millennium. Ghost rays, jet rays, crimson rays, and rabbit rays likely all share a common evolutionary ancestor. The alpha ray would have evolved deep in the ocean trenches, quickly growing in line with available food supplies. It would have most resembled the ghost ray in size and appearance, with translucent skin for camouflage and forward mounted eyes for hunting. A fast, fearsome stalker of small creatures in the dark. That's something I did not expect. While some rays have stayed within the limits of the cave systems where they first evolved, others are relatively more recent adaptations to new environments, likely the results of overpopulation. I don't doubt that. All rays of 4546b have given up predation in favor of herbivores scavenging and using poisonous flesh to protect themselves. That is a good defense mechanism. Sea dragon egg. This large egg is held in a hermetically sealed environment and has been chemically sterilized without the means at the facility to house a fully grown sea dragon specimen. It is possible the aliens sought to study instead the egg-laying and incubation process. To what end is unclear. Now that I think this one is found within the disease research facility, and this is basically what gives out the story of why it crashed. Yeah, fun stuff. Alright, Sea Emperor Egg Casing. I believe this one you find within the primary containment facility, within specifically the room where you find the Sea Emperor fetus, which I briefly showed in my series, so check that out if you want to. Shell composition. The shell casing is formed from thick layers of carbon composite, whatever, suggesting an extensive gestation period. This leviathan species may give birth just once per century, perhaps just once in their lifetimes. Shell casing incisions. Precise incisions suggest a laser-based tool was used to cut open the egg casing, forcibly removing the fetus inside prior to gestation. Analyze. Time, pressure, to develop a bacterial infection may have driven the alien researchers to cut open this egg and remove the fetus to study. It also appears that removed from its parent and natural habitat, some vital condition of the infant to hatch naturally was not met, which of course we found out. Sea Emperor fetus. Again, this is exactly found within the same room of the Sea Emperor casing of the primary containment facility. Found preserved in a display case, it is likely a child of the adult specimen contained within the facility. Physiology. Superficial damage to the specimens indicate it was artificially removed from its egg casing. Stunted tissue developed, suggesting the organism expired during the removal process. That's sad. Tissue samples have been taken from the digestive tract, analyzed. It appears the aliens were attempting to formulate a cure for the bacterium from the enzymes produced in this specimen's digestive system. Without a young, healthy specimen, these efforts were in vain. Well, sorry about that, I keep yawning. Anywho, moving along. Specimen with symptoms of infection. This organism is displaying signs of bacterial infection. Bright green blisters are forming networks around the infection sites. Pathology suggests a waterborne bacterium capable of penetrating the body through the skin and respiratory systems. Underlying indications of genetic mutation and aggressive behavior. The bacterium itself is unlikely any so far, according to human exploration. Warning: may be contagious. Avoid. Do not under any circumstances consume the flesh. Haha. Fun stuff. Sea Emperor's eggs. Wait, did I talk about where you could find this thing again? I think, if I'm not mistaken, you just have to scan any of the infected fauna. However, this actually reminds me, yes, I was correct. There's actually another information that I have to scan, and you have to scan a cured fauna after they were infected. This is something I could not get my hands on due to the fact that I could not find a catchable, if that's a word, infected fauna. Which is understandable because it's the end game. So I'm going to read it off the wiki right here. Scans indicate this infected organism has recently come into contact with a unique enzyme which has counteracted the most debilitating symptoms of its infection. Skin blistering has rapidly receded and has been replaced with healthy tissue. Altered genetic material has been replaced with original DNA from remaining healthy cells. Behavior normal. The bacteria is still present in the bloodstream but is currently dormant. Assessment: investigate enzyme origin. And that is it. Now then, give me a minute before I starve to death. I believe it's this one. Alright, and now I'm all set. Alright. Sea Emperor's eggs. Shell. Uncommonly strong shell lining. Organic growth on the exterior suggests these eggs may be hundreds or thousands of years old. I I have got to stop yawning. I don't doubt it, anywho. Alien tubes. Alien devices penetrate the outer shell layer, likely designed to supply them with nutrients and to isolate them from the surrounding environments. Uh, am, amniotic sac, I think. Many Like many eggs on 4546b, these do not contain a nutrient supply which is slowly exhausted into the embryo. Instead, they exist in a form of natural stasis, awaiting appropriate hatching conditions. Fetal organism. This is a high genetic match between these organisms and the Leviathan in the vicinity. They appear to be in a stable and healthy condition. Not bad. Wow, okay. Sea Emperor... Oh, by the way, this, of course, you get from scanning the hatching eggs. This, I believe, you get from from scanning the Sea Emperor Leviathan. Sea Emperor's life cycle. There we go. Available biological data has been used to synthesize the effects of the alien bacterium in the sea emperor's natural life cycle. This creature likely lived and moved in small herds around the planet's ocean trenches, coming to the surface to feed off huge volumes of microorganisms and in shallower waters. Family size would be strictly limited by available food supply. Offspring would likely split off at a young age to form their own herds somewhere else. Given their sparse population, mating and egg laying is likely infrequent, perhaps a once-in-a-lifetime event. These specimens are likely a preferred environment for egg laying. In fact, successful hatching may depend on such conditions. Given the rarity of this event, it is possible to calculate those conditions precisely. There is no evidence to support the assumption that all members of the species are immune to the alien bacterium. Even if this is so, there is evidence that introduction of the bacterium decimated life on the planet, and this would have had catastrophic effects on the Emperor's food supply and survival rate. The symbiotic relationship between this specimen and other life forms likely developed as a direct result of the bacterial infection. Those life forms which learned to keep the Emperor alive survived with its help. This may explain the vast tracts of lifeless ocean in a rough perimeter around the Emperor's location. And there we have it. Advanced theory is done. Next up, we have a lot of blueprint stuff, but it's already mostly everything we've come across, so no need to worry, at least for me. Air pumps. Air pumps can be used in a pipe breathable air to a remote location. The base attached air pump can be built as a compatible habitat and will source oxygen directly from the habitat's oxygen generator. The floating air pump must have access to breathable air and be floating on the water's surface. Air pumps are connected to a pipe chain to function. Now, this of course is after we collect the blueprints of air pumps, which can be found in many different salvage areas. I have never really used this because, frankly, it's not that useful, at least for me. Creature decoy. This advanced deployable is a catch-all solution for mimicking the behavior of living creature for purposes of scientific research or predator invasion. Wait, no, evasion. Evasion, I think. That's how you pronounce it. Vibrates, cycles air and water, and sends out randomized high-frequency sound waves to emulate a living organism. May be hand-placed or launched from compatible Cyclops submarines. Short on-board battery provides a limited lifespan, attracts predators of all kinds. This, of course, is collected when you, I believe if I'm not mistaken, scan a creature decoy. And I think it's only one thing as well that you have to scan. And you find it around the Aurora, if I'm not mistaken. Handheld scanner. This, of course, you build instantly at the start of the game, if you have the right resource. The essential science and survival tool, the scanner can be used to add new blueprints to memory and analyze unknown entities. It emits electromagnetic radiation in the specimen direction, which is reflected by the environment and then analyzed to determine the physical makeup of the targeted object. It has 4 primary functions. Those functions being blueprints acquisition. There we go. Record the physical paraments of scanned technologies to add their blueprints to the PDA databank. These blueprints may then be constructed at the appropriate fabrication. The scanner is also equipped to break down damaged or otherwise useless devices into their base materials for salvage purposes. Organism analyze, whatever. The scanner will attempt to match scan organisms against the onboard database. If no match is found, then the specimens will be assigned to an easy-to-remember name, and a new databank entry will be created. Your PDA's AI will also attempt to synthesize theories on behavioral tendencies and evolutionary origins, where possible, as well as deliver assessments on how to best approach them. Which, yes, that's later on further in this episode or next episode, I'm not 100% sure. Medical analyst. Scanning any living organism will display basic information on their state of health on the scanner's HUD. This information will be limited without access to a network database. Self-scan. The user may run a self-scan to determine their own physical well-being. The scan will research for foreign bacteria and signs of ill health and compare with available data to provide a diagnosis. The Altera spectroscope scanner, understanding the world so you don't have to. I don't know, I like understanding the world. The world is scary, but fun to find out about. The laser cutter. Now, if I'm not mistaken, you actually collect this by scanning fragments of the laser cutter, which can be found any wreckage, if I'm not mistaken. Almost any wreckage. Specifically in the Aurora. The Aurora. There we go. I could be wrong with that, but I thought no. Wait, what am I talking about? No, you get this. You get this specifically by scanning the laser cutter after you built it. There you go. The ultra-high frequency laser cutter is tuned specifically to cut through titanium and plasteel-based materials at a thickness of up to 10 centimeters. That is thick. Dang. This makes it an essential tool for construction, salvage, and rescue operations, but ineffective on natural obstacles. The Altera laser cutter, who called the locksmith. Light stick. You actually get this by scanning a light stick within wreckages or the Aurora. A mobile battery-powered LED light which provides low-level lighting at a 360-degree area. It can be attached to most surfaces. Propulsion cannon. This one, I believe, you scan the propulsion cannon after you built it. The propulsion cannon allows technicians to manipulate the gravitational forces at ranges of up to 20 meters. I wish I knew that. It is commonly used in construction and mining to move materials. Operating instructions. Pull the trigger once to lock onto and attract a single target object weighing less than 25 kilograms. The object can now be safely retrieved from the gravitational beam. Alternatively, pull the trigger a second time to propel the object at speed away from the device. Not recommended use for organic subjects. The prop cannon. Some specimens are telekinetic. For everyone else, there's Altera. God dang it, Altera, shut up already. Radiation suit. You collect this specifically after the events of the Aurora explosion. This suit fully protects against the effects of radiation during land, sea, and space exploration. Can radiation... I mean, I know radiation can pass through space, but I mean like harmful radiation. Well, I mean, you know what? Forget what I said. Safety rated up to 400 SV. I'm not 100% sure what that means. Sorry everyone who wanted to know about this. Cross-compatible with all AEP suit functionality. And it is sleek. Good to know. The radiation suit, a necessary precaution in a post-mad world. Wait, no way. Post-mad world? That makes me suspicious why they would put that there. For anyone who doesn't know what mad is or can't remember it from history, mad means, if I'm not mistaken, it is mutually assisted destruction. I think that's what it is. Crap, I can't remember all too well. Oh well, moving on. Reinforced diving suit. This one, I believe, you collect through a... I think this one's actually just a natural thing that you find in the fabricator, or you find this through one of those drives where they give you the blueprint for it. Anywho, reinforced diving suits. This suit is reinforced with a synthetic fibers to reduce incoming physical and thermal damage. Shock absorption reduces physical impact velocity at approximately 50%, rated to temperatures up to 70 degrees. Disclaimer, you are not invulnerable when wearing this suit. Yeah, I don't doubt it. Haha, I don't doubt it. The reinforced dive suit. Why take chances when you can take Altera? God dang it, Altera. Shut up already with your ridiculous Altera self thing, whatever. The repair tool. I think the repair tool you actually scan broken fragments of, or maybe it's just something that you already have in the fabricator. The repair tool can only be targeted at any common device, control panels, whatever, habitat modules, radio, etc., to switch wires and streams back together at the atomic level. All good technicians keep one of these under their pillow. That's okay. That wasn't useful information, okay? Most people don't care why it works, just that it saved their life that one time. But in case you are curious, it combines scanner and fabricator technologies to determine the proper specifications for the targeted object when it rearranges the physical material to match the original specs. The Altera repair tool. Get your fix. I swear, Altera, this is so ridiculous. Alright, next up we got the stasis rifle. Wait a minute. Oh, scratch that. No, we're missing 4 things. Which is the repulsion cannon, which is actually supposed to be somewhere around here. The repulsion cannon is a modification of the base propulsion cannon, which enhances its propulsion effect at the cost of the ability to draw objects closer. It can be fabricated using a modification station and is commonly employed in self-defense and less than lethal firearm. And this thing is supposedly unlocked when you unlock the repulsion cannon, but I have already done so and I still couldn't get it, and either ways I can't find any other way of getting it, so sorry for those who wanted to read it, I couldn't find it. Back to the stasis rifle, which again, I am more than sure you actually you scan the stasis rifle fragments. There you go. Anywho, moving along. The stasis rifle uses patented technology to slow time around an entity to as near to a full stop as the laws of physics will permit, essentially anchoring the target in place without affecting its internal workings. It is designed to facilitate scientific and engineering operations by expanding the window of opportunity for action in time-sensitive scenarios, which I have used several times, and I don't want to do that again. But I probably know I'm going to have to. The stasis rifle features an independent, replaceable power cell, and the trigger may be held down to increase the area of effect and duration. Oh shoot, there's a lot more. Common applications include slowing fast-moving mechanisms such as fan belts to facilitate maintenance operations. Why wasn't this thing useful at any point? Temporary incapacitation, I don't know. Incapacitating organisms for research purposes, which I've done. Navigating perilous spaces by freezing potential threats. NB may not function correctly on larger life forms. Okay. The Altera stasis rifle. Life's fast. Why not put it on pause? Alright. Still suit. Alright. If I'm not mistaken, I believe I collected this through a very, very, very annoying way. This is actually collected through a data key, one of those things where you collect it from this weird suitcase-like thing, within a large wreck in the dunes. And, am I gonna go there? No, but I will tell you where it is. It is west. That is it. It is west. You will easily find it. It is super noticeable. There's a reason why it's called the dunes. Moving along. The industry standard still suit is designed to minimize water loss by exploring hostile environments by filtering and recycling bodily fluids. Reclaimed water is stored in containers for later consumption. Normal production rate is 2 bottles per day. Filters contain containments from no less than 4 different bodily excretions. Blood and sweat may be effectively processed, upgraded to Mark II to make the most of tears? What? Onboard flavor neutralizer can be activated at startup. Flavor neutralizer not included on all models. Well, wow. Okay. The still suit, because drinking reclaimed urine is better than dying of dehydration. Yeah. Time capsule. Time capsules are this data entry is actually collected through I think at any time you find a time capsule or you scan one. Alright, so moving along. These sturdy containers are designed to store written and photographic evidence for later retrieval. In addition to a number of small items, time capsules are often fabricated by marooned survivors seeking either to aid those who find themselves in a same predicament in the future or to leave evidence in the plight, I think, which may be found long after the bodies have disintegrated. Most emergency escape vehicles are equipped with a time capsule by default, usually found in the cockpit, and be jettisoned at takeoff. Altera requests time capsules be stocked with tools and resources which will aid those who may discover them in the future. Which, by the way, apparently time capsules, yes, time capsules actually have it in lore, this being here. However, the time capsules you find in the world of Subnautica are actually not there in a sense like, oh, the game developers threw it in here specifically for you to find it there. No, they're actually a randomized location and randomized timing thing, and I think the number is limited with each individual who actually plays it. The game, I mean. And the reason why I say this is because due to the fact of how the due to the evidence within the capsules themselves, they will show photographs that shouldn't exist. They will show, they will give out items that shouldn't exist, and they will give out text which shouldn't exist, according to the in-lore of Subnautica. So these time capsules are actually capsules from other players, which are sent to you at a random point. And apparently I'm dying of thirst here. So, yeah, next time if anyone here is playing Subnautica, next time you come across a time capsule, remember, this came from a person, an actual person, saying, good luck, and have fun. To a degree, at least. I mean, for all I know, these guys could have done something else entirely different. Now then, if you excuse me, I am dying of thirst and water. Wait, thirst and water? Thirst and hunger. Even if it didn't look like it. Alright, habitat installations. Starting off with the alien containment. This one's a pain because this is quite a bit of reading. Alright. Despite huge, Altera-led advancements in stellar technology, exploring new worlds still has its challenges. Ooh, Jesus Christ, I have got to stop yawning. Anywho, Exploring new wait no no exploring new worlds and alien life forms are one of them. That's why we built the Alien Containment Unit. This unit is designed primarily to breed larger or more dangerous specimens. Wait, really? I didn't know that. Technical provisions. Unit must be installed by multi-purpose room modules. Units may be connected between rooms stacked in a column. A hatch must be installed in order to access the unit. The base of the unit is a planter, allowing sea flora to be grown from seed. Breeding tips. Provided sufficient time and living space, organisms of the same species should mate and reproduce. Eggs inside the units will hatch over time. Organisms raised from birth in captivity often exhibit unusual passive behavior. Wait. Huh, I'm gonna have to try that. I know that sounds weird, but I think I should try one of those things. Huh. Warnings. Environmental controls may fail if the unit is overpopulated. I don't doubt it. Infections may be transmitted faster between specimens in artificial environments. Never tap the glass. You don't know what will tap back or how hard. That's good to know! I just love to find this out. By the way, the alien containment units, I think you collect by the blueprints, or you scan it after you build it. One of those two. Aquarium. The aquarium is designed to hold a sustain up to 8 small organic organisms. This is basically the smaller aquarium. And fits inside a regular multi-purpose room habitat. Multi-purpose habitat room. There we go. Aquatic creatures make up 70% of all known species, making the aquarium a commonly deployed tool in many exploratory operations. It is just as often used to house livestock for later consumption as it is to hold oh, I'm sorry. As it is to hold specimens for xeno research. An automated environment regulator system means there's no need to feed or care for your subjects. And B, due to its size, the regular aquarium is not rated for breeding applications, and creatures are highly unlikely to mate. Construct a full-size alien containment unit for this purpose. Again, I am testing that breeding thing because I wonder if the game developers actually threw that in there. If they did, that would be so cool. And yes, I will do a video off that if it works. Bulkhead door. I think you just scan this, and that's it, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check. Yep, you just scan the bulkhead door once you build it. Moving along. The bulkhead door is designed to separate compartments while reinforcing the structure integrity with its solid titanium frame. The door can be opened and closed to seal off compartments in the event of a fire or flooding, or simply for privacy. Exterior grill bed. Advanced synthetic soil allows this grill bed to support a large variety and quantity of alien plant life, and can be installed anywhere on land or underwater where there is space. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the exterior grill bed you can find outside on the floating island where you find the gassy base, though yes, specifically the floating island, where you find the gassy base on the lower levels where you could find a lot of their food and stuff. And I think even at one of the higher bases, if I'm not mistaken. Fabricator. Fabrication technology is the power of rearrange matter at the atomic level. It was the catalyst behind the Great Expansion and remains the backbone of the modern world. Fabricators come in all shapes and sizes, but the most common are the small enough to be wall-mounted and are used for anything from constructing everyday implements to cooking dinner. It is common today for households to keep a store of generic base materials on hand for any eventuality. Nice. Floodlight. Floodlights I think you find in any large wreckage after you scan it, and by scanning any floodlights found within the Aurora itself. These ones I know for a fact because I've visited the Aurora many times and some of the large wreckages. The standard issue floodlight is designed to focus a bright beam of light in a single direction. No kidding. Useful in all kinds of industrial and emergency operations. Functions are known functions in all known environments. That is true. I think I could. I was about to say I think I could read one more, but it doesn't look like it. It looks like I'm gonna have to stop at the habitat builder, because even though I have like a few minutes more, I don't think I'm fast enough to read this whole thing out loud. Maybe in my head, yes, but not this. Anywho, I guess without further ado, we didn't get that far. So yeah, this might be a multi-episode just by reading the data entries by themselves. So already, I'm gonna have multiple reading episodes, which, you know what, I could handle. Anywho, moving along. I'm gonna have to say thank you everyone for joining me in this kind of boring adventure, but hopefully informational adventure. And yes, I will be continuing this Let's Explore series, and hopefully someone out there will find this useful. And when we get to the point that I want to get to, soon and fast, I will explain my purpose of doing so, which is actually a little interesting. And without further ado, goodbye.